What is up guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to show you my new favorite build for a Warlock and the Witch Queen. Let's go! Of course, if you've been enjoying my channel, make sure to like, share and subscribe for more Destiny 2, Elden Ring and whatever else variety gaming content I can bring you. And with all of that out of the way, let's bring you to the build. I'd like to start off by saying that Warlocks are still really good, even though we have been catching a lot of flack because Devour was our thing and now every class can have it, but it's not only about that. So let's see what I got for you. This is basically going to be a debuff lock build. Naturally, we are going to take advantage of Devourer. It's still really strong, even though it feels like it's been toned down a lot. But now that we have a ranged melee, we can take a lot more advantage of the Fellwinter's Helm, which is basically the cornerstone of this build, even though you can flex a little bit and change it to the Aeon Gloves, which I feel will be a lot better in Grandmasters than the Fellwinter's Helm, but I'm going to find out once they get released. The idea of this build is fairly simple but really cool. Once you get the melee final blow or a finisher, the enemies around you will get weakened and also they will be blinded, they will not attack you at all. Along with that, we're going to use aspects, fragments and mods which will allow us to have our Void Grenade be up constantly. The loop is get a grenade kill, get your elemental wells, then find the weak enemy, finish them, weaken everything around them, and start repeating it. So, what do you actually need for the build? As you've already seen, this is going to be a Void 3.0 build, so let's start from there. The super is going to be the Nova Bomb Vortex, or as I like to call it, the big black hole of suck. It comes with good burst and sustain damage. After you throw it out, it will stay in the area and basically suck in anything in its path. On the aspect side, we're going to use Feed the Void, which gives us 2 fragment slots, and it allows us to get Devourer after we get a Void ability kill, and basically all of our build is going to be based on Void ability kills. We pair it with Child of the Old Gods. This gives us our little Void buddy when we cast our Rift. Once you have that Void buddy next to your shoulder, you just gotta shoot at a target and it will home in on them. After that, it will stay in place, apply weaken to all enemies in its vicinity, and it will give you more ability energy, which is actually really important for this build. That's because we're going to use the Vortex Grenade as our nade in this build. It sucks in anything in its vicinity and gives us very good sustained damage. It will be the main tool in our build because with the mods that we'll cover in a second, you'll be able to spam it a lot. For the first fragment of this build, we're going to use Echo of Persistence. It will increase all void buffs applied to us, including Invisibility, Overshield, and Devourer. And because of our first aspect, we're going to get Devourer after every ability kill. That includes the grenade, that includes the little void buddy, and our melee. The other fragment that we're going to use is Echo of Undermining. This one is kind of a flex and you can change to whatever you want. After this season, it will need to be changed for the fragment that gives you volatile rounds upon void ability kills, since that will no longer be an elemental mod. Right now, it's just another way for us to apply a weaken debuff, which debuffs our enemies for 10%, which is really easy because all you gotta do is hit them with an 8. Next up is Echo of Explosion. This will cause any target we kill with a void ability to explode. And as we already covered, that means that all of our void abilities will cause enemies to explode, which turns the battlefield into a Michael Bay production. And for the final cherry on the top, we're going to use Echo of Obscurity, which causes our finishers to grant us invisibility. And since we are using Echo of Persistence, the invisibility will also have an increased duration. So just from our abilities, we have Vampirism, we can get invisible, and also we weaken targets, but we can do a whole lot more. As we already covered, you will need to use either the Fellwinter's Helm or the Aeon Soul Gloves because both of them will give great utility to your finishers. And this does become the main loop of the build where you finish something, you get invisible, you weaken everything around you, then you finish another thing, and rinse and repeat. In order to really go through the top with this build, we are using Pardon Our Dust in the kinetic slot. This is a kinetic grenade launcher which can roll with blinding grenades, autoloading holster, and demolitionist. And that is absolutely the role you should go for because, well, first of all, you're going to be blinding your enemies with each shot you make. And for every kill you get, the demo perk will give you a lot of grenade energy back to your cooldown so you can start spamming your grenade again. Autoloading holster is the cherry on top, which allows you to shoot with the GL, then you switch to your primary, then you can switch back to your GL and shoot again just after a short delay. For the primary, the best possible choice that you can make is the Funnel Web. That's because, well, first it's void, so it will benefit from volatile rounds. Second, it can roll with Subsistence and Adrenaline Junkie, which is definitely the role you want to go for if you want to use this build. You need Adrenaline Junkie for this build because its uptime is ridiculous with how often you can throw your grenade. And of course we want Subsistence because that means that the Funnel Web will reload a couple of bullets every time you get a kill. Right now I have Perpetual Motion on it, but with Subsistence it just shines. The Funnel Web is a world drop, so you have the chance to get it every time you go to decipher one of your engrams with Rahul. In the heavy slot we are using the Parasite. This just gives us incredible burst damage. Every time you get a kill with one of your other weapons, you will buff the Parasite's damage for the next shot, which will do stupid stupendous numbers. As for armor mods, we'll use Elemental Ordnance twice. It will give us an Elemental Well every time we get a kill with our grenade. And to allow for these to stack, we use Bountiful Wells, which will allow us to get 3 Elemental Wells every time we get a grenade kill. At tier 10 Discipline, this will restore more than half of your grenade energy. If it's 4 Elemental Wells, it will be almost all of it. If you want to get 4 wells, instead of the next mod, just put another Elemental Ordnance in. And that next mod would be Font of Might, which will increase our void weapon damage every time we pick up a void elemental well, which is every time we throw a grenade. And to cap it all off, right now we put on the Volatile Rounds mod, which will give our void weapons volatile rounds every time we pick up an elemental well. After you get volatile rounds in on a target, you gotta shoot it a couple of more times and it will blow up in an explosion of void light. When you get all of your explosions chaining and going, it's like you're in a Stallone movie, but everything is purple around you. And that's my Void Debuff Warlock build. I am almost sure it's not going to be really good for Grandmasters, but I'll definitely try it out once those become available. If you want to see that, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to join the fam. Like the video if you want to see me do more content like this. And if you did get this far, thank you so much for watching. And now you can watch one of the videos that will show up in these boxes. Catch you later, fam.